All right, we're back. So we are now on to the second part of John's rough draft about the cookies and the whatnot. So we are on question number 6. So please go to question number 6. Question number 6 is actually one where we don't really need to know a lot about the rough draft. This is a comma question. Question 6 says, in sentence 28, how is large bowl, a measuring cup, comma, and some measuring spoons correctly written? So I can see there, looking at my answer choices, that I need to figure out which one does the commas the right way. All right, so choice A says, large bowl, comma, a measuring cup, comma, and comma, some measuring spoons. B says a large bowl, comma, a measuring cup, comma, and some, comma, measuring spoons. C says a large bowl, comma, a measuring cup, comma, and some measuring spoons. And D says leave it as it is. Here's my trick. When we do comma ones, I read it out loud, either out loud, or in my head, and where there's a comma, I put a big pause. Now, the one that you want is the one that doesn't sound awkward. Here's an example. If I read choice A again, and I pause for the commas, here's what it sounds like. Large bowl, a measuring cup, and some measuring spoons. Okay, so go through and read the choices in your head like that. Pause where there's a comma. On to question 7. In sentence 31, how is most smallest correctly written? Is it A, smallest, B, most small, C, more small, D, as it is? Now here's my trick for that. It gives us a sentence number, so the best thing we can do is go back and look at the whole sentence and try plugging these choices in. See how it sounds. See which one sounds most correct. All right, so go ahead and take a second, pause, and do that. Go look at sentence 31, plug in your answer choices. All right, we are on to question 8. Read sentence 34 from John's rough draft. The sentence says, close enough, I whispered to myself, determined not to ask for help again. How is the underlined part of this sentence correctly written? So they've underlined that first half of the sentence. And I see that there are quotation marks there, so I know that quotes are in the mix. I know that the comma is in the mix. I need to look at how this quote should be correctly written. Choice A says, begin quotes. Close enough, end quotes, I whispered. Choice B says, begin quotes. Close enough, comma, I whispered, end quotes. C says, begin quotes, close enough, comma, end quotes, I whispered. And D says leave it as it is. So you have to think about where the quotation marks go. Remember that quotation marks only go around a direct quotation, the words that someone spoke. And we have to think about where the comma goes. Do we need a comma? Should it be inside or outside the quotes? Take a look at your quotation rules. That will help. Number 9, in sentence 35, how is the recipe stated that I correctly written? Is it A, the recipe stated that back up. A says the recipe stated that, comma, I. B says the recipe stated, comma, that I. C says the recipe stated, comma, that, comma, I. D says leave it as it is. Go back to sentence 35, look at it inside the whole sentence, see what looks right. Number 10, in sentence 37, how is temperature correctly written? This is a spelling question. Choice A spells the word T-E-M-P-R-A-T-U-R-E. Choice B says T-E-M-P-E-R-A-T-U-R-E. Choice C says T-E-M-P-E-R-E-T-U-R-E. And choice D says leave it as it is. Number 11, in sentence 53, how is blared loudly correctly written? Is it A, blared loud, B, blaring loud, C, blares loudly, or D, as it is? Again, go back to sentence 53, see which one sounds right in the sentence. All right, we're on to something different. We're reading the passage to answer this question. The passage says, Andrea Davis Pinkney. Wanda's English teacher assigns a report on a favorite author. Wanda decides to write about Andrea Davis Pinkney. Number 12 says, which strategy would most help Wanda before she begins to draft her report? So before she starts writing. Would it be A, making a cover sheet for her report on Pinkney, B, finding a picture of Pinkney, C, brainstorming questions about Pinkney she wants to address, or D, imagining being an author like Pinkney? As we move on, we see that we've got her rough draft here. So, number 13 says, to make sentence 2 clearer, Wanda should replace work with what? Let's read sentence 2. Sentence 2 says, a common theme runs through all of Pinkney's work. So, we're going to take a look at our answers and we're going to reread that sentence in our head, replacing it with those choices. Can we substitute work for efforts, A, B, writings, C, labors, or D, actions? Some of these are pretty similar. Think about what is most specific to what she's writing about. Number 14. Which sentence should Wanda add after sentence 8 for elaboration? Elaboration means just to say more about it, to explain more. So what sentence can she add to say more after sentence 8? Let's go back up to sentence 8. When I say let's, I mean you too. Go back to sentence 8. Sentence 8 says, in addition, they were deeply involved in the civil rights movement. Who was involved in the civil rights movement? Luckily, there's question 7, or sentence 7. Her parents influenced Pinkney in a career choice. In addition, they were deeply involved in the civil rights movement. So we're talking about her parents. All right, let's go down to the answer choices. So what can we add next to make more explanation, to create more detail? A, Andrea Davis Pinkney went on to write for many leading magazines. B, Pinkney believed that we should all try to improve our own lives as well as other people's lives. C, many African American writers owe their success to Pinkney's efforts. Or D, her parents' participation in the movement had a profound effect on Pinkney. Think about which one of those things matches up with what the previous sentence was about. Number 15. In sentence 12, which transition should Wanda use to replace therefore? Back up to sentence 12 we go. Sentence 12 says, actually, you know what? It makes more sense to start in sentence 11. That way we can see what the transition actually is. Because transition just means movement. So from one sentence to the next. So it says, Pinkney loved to read as a child. Therefore, she did not set out to become a children's book author. So we have to replace it because therefore shows cause and effect. And this sentence does not show cause and effect. It's saying she loved to read as a child, and then the next sentence is saying she did not set out to be an author. So what makes sense to put there? Our choices are A, likewise, B, furthermore, C, consequently, and D, however. Number 16. Which sentence should Wanda revise because it needlessly repeats information within the sentence? So what's she going to get rid of because it repeats itself? Our choices are sentence 11, sentence 13, sentence 14, and sentence 16. So we're looking for one to get rid of. Let's go back up here. I'm just going to read that paragraph. Pinckney loved to read as a child. Therefore, she did not set out to become a children's book author. A character in a television show caused her to dream of being a journalist for a big city magazine because she wanted to become a writer. She graduated from Syracuse University in 1985 with a degree in journalism. Pinckney then went on to work as an editor for the magazine Mechanics Illustrated. The new job required her to move to New York City. So we're looking for what can we get rid of because it repeats itself. All right, we are on to the second part of Wanda's rough draft. And I'm going to start a new video.